Welcome to episode 3 of Athlete to Athlete here on Sportsnet. My name is Arash Madani. We're gathering some of our country's top high-performance stars in conjunction with the Canadian Olympic Committee, and these competitors will tell us their stories of life during the pandemic, how they're adjusting with the postponement of the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, and also opening up on the relevant social issues of the day. You know, when you think of the iconic Canadian Olympic moments, Mark Tewksbury's celebration after his golden performance in the pool in Barcelona, that is as good as it gets. Tewksbury has continued to be a leader, an advocate, ambassador, and broadcaster in retirement. And when he came out in 1998, that was a major step for the athlete movement. A generation after Tewksbury stood atop the podium, Markus Thormeyer is the national record holder in the 100 and 200 meter backstroke. He competed for Canada at Rio 2016, not long after he came out to the Canadian swim team. It was then that Thormeyer said, "I finally felt I could be me." When Annie Guglia saw skateboarding was being added to the Olympics, she went all in with it. Guglia remains a hopeful to wear the maple leaf next summer in Tokyo. She too came out and now says, "I'm not afraid to talk about my girlfriend or mention it casually in a conversation." The three were candid in the latest conversation here on Athlete2Athlere.
I'm just curious, you guys, I'm on the board, but you guys are in the midst of getting ready for Tokyo 2021 now. So let's just start. How are you training? What's been going on?
Well, it's been really weird, the whole quarantine thing, just not being able to train when we were actually peaking because the Olympics were going to happen. So the first 2 weeks, I was actually skateboarding on my treadmill, just as a joke. but I was doing tricks on my treadmill, but I'm mostly skating for fun right now because I want to take a little break and then start the whole training and competing practice again more further in the fall.
Markus, Annie jokes at least she can play on the treadmill a little bit, but there's not much we can do in a bathtub.
Yeah. I've just been trying to do a bunch of dry land just to keep fitness, but I think I'm kind of the same in that I'm just kind of enjoying my time away from the pool right now. I'm not getting super intense about the Olympics and sport right now. I think that if I did that when all the pools open again and training returns, I think if I were intense now, when I come back, I would kind of be burnt out and tired already.
You're both out proud members of Team Canada, which you don't imagine how happy that makes me.
That's cool.
So someone that came out in 1998, and I was one of the first ones at Olympic Committee meetings where they're talking about gay people and said, "That's me. I'm that people." And so it was really, and it's amazing to see you guys take the lead in your sports and in the community. So what are you doing this year to virtually celebrate Pride?
Instead of I don't know, there's usually a parade and stuff. I think in replacement of that, I've been educating myself on, how the Black community has helped shape LGBTQ plus culture, and educated myself also on how they've contributed to gay rights. Because I think that through education, anyone can just become a better ally for the community and my fellow community members.
I was gonna say something similar. I think it's Pride Month, but it's we're gay every month anyway. So
yeah.
There's nothing that happening so much, and the Black Lives Matter movement is happening right now, and I think it's good to take that opportunity to listen and learn about the history and about what's happening right now in the Black community, because as you said, it's linked, and it's not something that I'm personally affected by, so I have to learn from other people what's happening.
But Annie, I think what you bring to the table is already an innate understanding and empathy for difference. So even though for sure we have no idea what it would be like to be a Black person, we can have some empathy for how it feels to be marginalized or feel very alone and isolated. Yeah, but not the actual experience. And to become a vocal spokesperson, right? It's not enough to be against something. It's like, well, do I actually stand for that? Do I speak up if I see something? Or am I just a bystander? I tell you, one of the big messages that I've taken out of Black Lives Matter is to amplify other voices, which is why on one hand, I'm so thrilled for you guys because you're the next generation. Like, you know, I said enough about this.
But you've paved, like, you've done so much, you know, like that's one of the reasons why, for example, we don't have to, well, I don't know for you, Marcus, but for me, it was not that much of a big deal when I came out, and in sports either. And it's because we had people before us who did all that work and who, I thank you for that. It's the first time I talked to you, so I'm just curious to know how it was like when you came out in 1998. You
know, it was really interesting because, you know, I sometimes wish I was brave enough at the Olympics in 1992 at my gold medal press conference to say, I'm gay. But I promised myself when I finished swimming that I would stop hiding. I would like, you know, explore that. And I came out to my parents, I came out to my agent. Everyone had a horrible reaction, really shut down, said, don't come out, whatever you do. If you do, you'll lose everything. And I bought into that, unfortunately, but I got my courage up. And so I finally came out in 1998. I was on the International Olympic Committee Site Selection Commission. I was on the Canadian Olympic Committee. I was Athletes Commission. I was, you know, very prominent. And I was terrified of losing things. I lost a little bit, but Annie, the most amazing thing happened. Something I'd been part of with the International Olympic Committee, the scandal broke about how corrupt it was. And I was there firsthand, and I spoke up.
What's good enough for the athletes has to be good enough for the guardians of the Olympic movement. And if we're held up to those high standards, so must the IOC, and in particular, the head of the IOC.
And because I'd come out, it gave me such integrity on this other topic. And it was the last thing I would have ever imagined happening. But in the end, very quickly, coming out, even though it was hard, and it was really weird because to talk about such a private thing so publicly at that time was like really hard and weird, but it turned out really good, really good. Just kind of final lob to both of you. Let's start with you, Annie. The importance of authenticity, integrity in competing in sport, and also what does that mean for Team Canada? How does that sort of make us all better?
Well, authenticity for me means to be yourself, which is very generic answer, but it's like you're the only person who can be you, and that's very important. A lot of times people forget that everyone has their own added value to the world, whether it's sports or like whatever it is. Like you're gonna bring something to the table, and you just gotta find what it is and explore that.
Marcus?
I think authenticity is very important because I think to be the best you can be, you have to fully embrace who you are. Like, what can you do if you don't know who you are, right? You'll just be like wandering aimlessly. But if you yourself are a rock that you can build off of and then grow, I think that's super important. And I think growing not just for you, but for the people around you, because when you grow, you take your circle around you and you lift them up too. And then they can do the same to other people. And I think that is really a good thing about authenticity, is that like it allows you to do that. And it's not just you that's being affected. It's like everyone around you, and then they grow too, then you grow, and it's this whole like network.
Wow, great insights, you guys. I love both of your comments. Fully embrace who you are, from Marcus, and then you bring added value to the world, from Annie. That is like the most beautiful combo of authenticity, integrity, and why it matters. So a real pleasure to meet you guys, and we'll see you again, Marcus, to meet you, Annie, and keep up all the great work. You guys are so inspiring.
Yeah, inspiring indeed. And I think it's Marcus's point that is worth repeating when he said, let's lift the people up around us. Isn't that what so many Olympians do on the world stage? I thought it was also pretty powerful hearing Annie thank Tewksbury for paving the way for her, so that when she came out, it just didn't feel like that big a deal. 2 generations gathering. That was pretty good stuff. This was only the third of 6 shows in our Athlete to Athlete series. In our next episode, we'll visit with Canada's Athlete of the Year from 2018. Mikhail Kingsbury's resume of accomplishments is now complete, but he is continuing in a quest for more. And he'll visit with Max Perot, a silver medalist in Pyeongchang, who has dealt with so much adversity away from competition since. We'll see you soon for the next episode of Athlete to Athlete. I'm Arash Madani. Thank you for watching.